In a significant political development, Congress leader Shashi Tharoor has stoked a row praising India's vaccine diplomacy during the pandemic. As India marks 5 years since the COVID-19 lockdown, the Congress leader has highlighted an extraordinary chapter in that dark period, India's Vaccine Maitri initiative. In a detailed article penned down by Tharoor, he's called this initiative one of India's most significant accomplishments during the pandemic. He said, and I quote, 5 years ago today, India entered one of the world's strictest COVID-19 lockdowns. While the period was marked by tragedy, Tharoor reminds us it also birthed Vaccine Maitri, India's unprecedented vaccine diplomacy that supplied made-in-India doses to 100+ countries during the global crisis. Leveraging its vaccine manufacturing might, India launched a Vaccine Maitri in January 2021, exporting Covishield, Covaxin to several nations including Bhutan, Maldives, Bangladesh, African nations with shipments framed by Prime Minister Modi's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam philosophy. Quoting an excerpt from the article, the Congress MP said, and I quote, in doing so, India has reaffirmed its position as a global leader, shaping solutions with multilateral platforms. The richer nations instead spend their resources stocking up on vast quantities of vaccines for their own citizens, much of which had to be thrown away unused when they could have saved lives if distributed to poorer nations. Now, this is not the first time that Tharoor has lauded Prime Minister Modi for his global policies. Earlier this month at the Raisina dialogue, he had made a similar remark.
Was the one person in the parliamentary debate who actually criticized the Indian position at the time, back in February 22, on the well-worn grounds that Espen will understand, because he and I talked about all this in my UN days, that there was a violation of the UN Charter, that there had been a violation of the principle of the inviolability of borders, of the sovereignty of a member state, namely Ukraine, and we had always stood for the inadmissibility of the use of force to settle international disputes, and all of those principles, I said, had been violated by one party, and we should have condemned it. Well, a couple of years later, 3 years later, it does look like I'm the one with egg on my face, because clearly the policy has meant that India has actually a prime minister who can hug both the president of Ukraine and the president of Moscow 2 weeks apart and be accepted in both places. And therefore, India is in a position where it can make a difference to a lasting peace, if it was so required, in ways that very few countries would be able to. And it's partially, I mean, again, going back to some of the things that Stephen Harper and Espen said, distance helps. The fact that we're not in Europe and we're not directly, one way or the other, threatened or benefiting from any change in territorial borders, for example, that helps. The fact that the two parties seem to be ready to agree to peace.
Joining me on more on this is my colleague Brijesh Pandey, and I also have, in fact, a political analyst here with me on the phone line, Gokul Chandra. Let me, in fact, quickly come across to you, Mr. Chandra. You know, Shashi Tharoor's praise for India's vaccine diplomacy has sort of sparked a political chatter. How do you really see this? Mr. Chandra, can you hear me? All right, there seems to be some network issue. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Brijesh Pandey, who is in fact with us from the newsroom. Brijesh, I was asking Mr. Chandra this question. You know, Shashi Tharoor's praise for India's vaccine diplomacy, and particularly for Prime Minister Modi, which isn't the first. Let me also mention this, has somewhat sparked political chatter. Given your political experience, I'd like you to just tell us how do you see this?
Well, the will he, won't he conundrum of Shashi Tharoor and also the Congress party continues as far as, the politics of Shashi Tharoor is concerned. On one side, he says that whatever he says as a praise for the policies and the politics of the Prime Minister, who's the Prime Minister of everybody. But also given the fact that Mr. Shashi Tharoor is no ordinary Indian, he is a four-term MP from Kerala of Congress party. And, when the top leadership of the Congress party is starting from Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and everybody when they are criticizing the policies of the government. Even today, we saw Sonia Gandhi, former Congress Party president, penning an article panning, NEP and how the government is going for communalization and also crass commercialization of the education policy. On the same time, an article written by Shashi Tharoor praising India's vaccine policy, it doesn't kind of gel with the politics of the Congress party. And this is not the first time this has happened. We have also seen that how the Kerala Congress, it's a divided house as far as the politics of Shashi Tharoor is concerned. Not many are happy with the kind of public stance he has taken, praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when on those very issues, the top leadership had a completely different take. I think it's becoming embarrassing for the Congress party by the day. And this is the reason why there are many who believe that how long this arrangement is going to work. We saw how, the slugfest in the Kerala Congress party went up to a level where the High Command had to intervene. A section is not very happy with Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor himself is saying that, that there's a leadership vacuum in Kerala Congress. So it looks like, this situation where, Shashi Tharoor praises Prime Minister Narendra Modi for on all those issues which the High Command, the Congress High Command is inimical of. It doesn't, portrays a united house as far as Shashi Tharoor is concerned and also the Congress party is concerned. So it'll be extremely interesting to see how far is the Congress leadership going to tolerate that, because just flies in the face of all the articulation which is being done by the top Congress leadership on these very issues itself.
Right, and also, Brijesh, like you rightly said, that this is bound to create friction within the Congress party, given, the party's broader stance on the government's handling of the pandemic. Now, I'll again, repeat myself that Shashi Tharoor has once again praised the Prime Minister. First, it was at the Raisina dialogue and now on Vaccine Maitri. This also begs the question, Brijesh, is Tharoor carving his own space?
Well, I think, what Shashi Tharoor is doing is that right now, if you ask a very honest analysis of the situation that he puts himself and the Congress party in, I think, he has his foot on both sides of the party. If you remember, there was a tweet which was put out by Jayant Panda, and, where it was written that both Shashi Tharoor and Jay Panda, they were traveling together, and he said that, it's a mischievous line saying that finally we are together in one direction. Now, these kind of, clickbaitish headlines looks good, augurs good for social media platforms and all. But when you are a true blue politician, a fourth-term MP, it doesn't augur well for you. It also betrays or gives a very mixed kind of signaling as far as the party top leadership is concerned. That either make up your mind and make me the top man as far as Kerala Congress is concerned, or I have a parallel venue opened up. And I think it also doesn't goes down well for the Congress party chief, because it looks like that, that they are not in a position to crack the whip as far as Shashi Tharoor is concerned. So either which way, I think the scenario doesn't bode well for the Congress leadership. And the way Shashi Tharoor has been, if the same thing which he spoke about in the Raisina dialogues, that, I had egg on my face when I see Prime Minister hugging both Ukrainian president as well as Vladimir Putin. The Congress has been, sending out memes after memes saying that how he went about, stopping the war and how the claim is extremely outlandish. Now, in the backdrop of that, your own MP saying that he has egg on his face and he now believes that the Prime Minister leadership, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership made the war stop, and he's in a position to play a crucial role. It's extremely embarrassing as far as the Congress party is concerned. Neha?
Right. Thank you very much, Brijesh, for joining us with all of those insights. In fact, we also have a reaction from BJP's Shehzad Poonawala. Let's quickly take a listen.
Unfortunately, in the Congress party, their topmost leaders like Rahul Gandhi, in Modi Virod, they can do anything for Desh Virod. They can even fight Indian state. They go on foreign soil and they berate India's institutions. They question India's economy, judiciary, election commission. Today, they have questioned even the vaccine, the COVID vaccine at the time we have seen of COVID. And they have created negativity and doubts in the minds of people. At least these people should also acknowledge that what kind of role India played, not just in giving the vaccines to its citizens, but also to the countries around the world where the vaccine was not available, thereby strengthening its position in global health diplomacy. I am glad that Dr. Tharoor has taken this stand, which is putting India first. But unfortunately, the Congress party is so intolerant that they may take action against him like they have taken in the previous occasions.
All right, let me quickly go across to Gokul Chandra, political analyst. He joins me on more on this. Mr. Chandra, a very warm welcome to you. You know, Shashi Tharoor's repeated praise for the Prime Minister has got people talking. How do you really see this?
Good morning to everyone. Mr. Shashi Tharoor, whatever he speaks, the best person to respond to that would be Mr. Shashi Tharoor. But still, as an outsider, as a political analyst, I want to make few points. The reason why, so people were complaining that Mr. Shashi Tharoor is not being accepted by his own party in Kerala, the UDF is not accommodating him. See, these are the reasons why the party cadres, the Congress party cadres especially, doesn't want Mr. Shashi Tharoor to lead Congress or come anywhere near to the leadership ring of the Congress party in Kerala. So these are the reasons why Mr. Shashi Tharoor is being alienated by the party workers and party leaders of UDF and Congress party in Kerala. Mr. Shashi Tharoor should understand, instead of crying, why I am not being accommodated, I am being sidelined. And before saying all these things, should introspect himself. He denied some important portfolios or posts within the party. It's time for Mr. Tharoor to think, see, I should be a loyal party man. See, when you are within a party, when you are within the Congress party organization, you have your responsibilities. You have to toe the party line. If you maybe you can have one or two opinions which differ from party line, but each and every time when you have a different opinion than the party, then it is very unfortunate. And it is high time. He's already more than 15 years into Indian politics, and by this time he's a great learner, great scholar. He should have learned what politics is, what organizational politics is. He should have learned. He doesn't have any idea about it. And okay, you can praise Modi, you can praise BJP, you can praise RSS, but at the end of the day, he should realize by doing so, he will not get an important post or portfolio within Congress party, and he should be happy about it rather than cribbing about it.